I'm Monica Pearson, and I'm so glad you're here this evening for this very special event to celebrate Christina Stevens and her brand new book, Love, the Saint, and the Seeker. I think what I love about this title is that the Seeker is also, in many ways, Mother Teresa. And the Seeker is also Christina, who thought she was seeking an interview, but found she was seeking so much more. Christina is an accomplished woman. She is an award-winning filmmaker. She's an author, a global environmentalist, an inspirational speaker. She speaks regularly at the United Nations on various topics that range from expanding consciousness to youth empowerment to solutions for global sustainability and the topic of happiness. She currently serves on the Special Projects Committee of Directors Guild of America and on the Board of Directors of the Captain Planet Foundation here in Atlanta. She's lived and worked all over the world. Her keen ability to address social change and global unity unfold in the pages of her storytelling. She is the recipient of the Venice Film Festival's coveted Golden Lion. She's won numerous Clios, the New York Arts Directors, and International Broadcasting Awards. Love, the Saint and the Seeker is Christina's first memoir, and it has won the grand prize from Hay House Publishing. We are thrilled, Christina, that you are here tonight to celebrate this wonderful and truly inspiring book. And I'm really looking forward to sitting down and talking to her about it. It is such a good read. I could not put it down. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Christina Stevens. You all remember the John Lennon song? All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
And we didn't rehearse that.
We have found that we have this synergy and energy, which is really good. So I am so looking forward to this interview. Now, you were the seeker. You thought you were seeking an interview, but you learned much more, that you were seeking more truths from Mother Teresa.
It began with a dream. I mean, she came to me in a dream and said, if you wish to film me, I will let you, but you must come soon. Now, that was a call, and I thought, oh my God, am I going to die? Or is she going to die? I got to get there. Why she came to me, I was perplexed by, but I was in awe of, and it was like, I had to go. It wasn't a question.
What I thought was fascinating, you kept calling her, and she would always say, no, no cameras, no interviews, no, I don't do it for anyone. But you were so persistent. What was it in your down here that said, I know I'm supposed to do this?
If someone comes to you in a dream and actually leaves you with this feeling that you've just met them and you can't let it go. And yes, she didn't say no on the telephone. When I called her, she kept saying, yes, God bless, yes, God bless, yes, God bless. Of course, that was not a yes. I knew that wasn't a yes. The day that I was leaving, my secretary appears at the doorway and says, we just got a fax, and I don't think you're going to want to read this. And it says, don't bring your film crew, Mother won't allow filming. And I said, well, who signed that? And she said, oh, Sister Priscilla. And I said, well, Mother Teresa didn't sign that. She didn't tell me not to come.
What I discovered in reading the book, you have this connection with nature where you literally can talk to the animals, where you can put your hands on them. You had the connections with nature, but you didn't have connections with human nature. Why?
I came from a rather bizarre family. They were a theatrical family. Whenever we were out in restaurants, people thought we were rehearsing some kind of big drama, but it wasn't. This was our world, this was our life. I didn't know what love was in my life. All I knew that I loved nature and I loved my animals. Those were the ones that I felt safe with. I didn't really feel safe out in the world.
What was fascinating to me was while you were hounding her, that's the word I'm going to use, she would always say to Christina, you must come and volunteer.
When I got there, they didn't know when she was coming back because Mother says, oh, you know, I'm like a pencil in God's hands. He does the thinking and he does the writing, and the pencil has only to be allowed to be used. So when I said, well, where is Mother Teresa? And, you know, I mean, I had all my savings. I'd just given cash to the crew who were coming in 6 days, 7 days after that. And my star is not even in the country. So I remembered what she'd said to me on the phone when I called her and said, I'm coming. And she said, oh, yes, God bless. She had said, well, you know, a girl like you should volunteer in my homes, at the orphanage and at the home for the dying. So I went first to the orphanage. And if I didn't know what love meant before that minute, when one of the sisters handed me a little baby in swaddling, and when I unfolded the swaddling, there was this little torso with no arms and no legs and hardly any ears and blind, but laying in my hands, emanating such love and joy. I couldn't believe it. This child was put on earth only solely to be loved.
What did that experience teach you?
Lessons you'll never learn in a book. I want to share with you the first moment I connected with Mother Teresa. Not the first moment I met her, because I met her in my dream. I got out of the van that dropped us all off, and then the van closed and took off and took the bodies to the burning ghats, which are, you know, at the foot of the Ganges in India. And then right behind me, because I was about to either get a taxi or something, go back to my hotel. Right behind me, another white van pulled in, and I heard the door click open, and then the door click close. And the minute it clicked close, you know, the streets in Calcutta are like chaotic, a mass of hubbub. They're just crazy. Everyone's going, horns are honking, it's insane almost. And suddenly, everything kind of went still. There's a beggar woman standing beside me, and she fell to her knees. And I turned around to see, well, what's going on here? And this little hand went up to my forehead and said, God bless you. And then the crowd just swept her through into the mother house. Silence had just fallen on this big street. We hear, Mother is back, Mother is back, she's home, she's home. And then they all broke out in song. And we just listened to their singing. And it was like angels. It was so beautiful. That was my very first meeting with her.
I think each time you went to sit outside her office, you would be sitting out there for hours sometimes, and she would say to you, you wait so long. And your response was, Mother, I would wait for you forever.
That was our greeting, and it was so odd. It was as if we'd said it before 1,000 times almost. Because yes, you know, there were very few people out that were allowed to wait outside of his office, because that Sister Priscilla would come out and she would like, she would interview people and say, oh, we're from Japanese television and we're here to, you know, and they were trying to sell and say, I'm sorry, Mother won't do that. And woof, they were shoved off. And so everyone was kind of sent away. Then Mother would come out, and Mother would take care of everyone in due course and leave me sitting there. And I would sit there, and I would sit there for a long time. I gave up looking at my watch because I knew that was just distraction for myself. And I just sat there. And I really thought I was waiting for her. But in the end, I realized she was waiting for me.
The day that Mother Teresa died, she spoke to you before you even learned she was dead. And she told you to get the ring. And when you wore it, God would show you how to write your story.
Well, actually, when I'd left her in Calcutta, and I had the feeling I would never see her again, and I had 3 private meetings, and it's not professional at all to burst into tears, because if you're a tough little filmmaker, and I was not a crier. I did not cry. I learned how not to cry in my life. But when I was in her space, there was something about what she did when you walked into her energy zone, that she just melted you. Everything would fall away, and I would cry. And I cried, of course, because she was saying no. She kept saying no. I say no to kings. I say no to countries. I cannot say yes to you. And finally, when I'd let go of asking her, was when she turned it around. But when I left, I went to say goodbye to her, and she pressed this ring into my hand, and she said, when you write, wear this ring, and God will write through you.
The second time, after the usual greeting, she brings you a book that is a prayer book.
Yes.
For you.
Yes. And she said, this is for you. And I didn't look at the book. I went, oh, thank you. And then she just, disappeared again. And I got a taxi, and I opened the book, and the book opened to a page that she had written in her own handwriting. And it was over a woodcut of Jesus on the cross. And it had "Follow the One" in typing. She had written right above it, "Be the One." And I thought, that's so powerful. I've got to be the one. I'm no longer to look for the one or to follow one. I have to be the one. The reason I wrote this, and my intent was to actually look into your own life as you journey through mine and honor and love yours even more.
And you talk about that a lot in the book, letting go.
Yes.
Do you think that's why you finally got the interview?
Yes, it's exactly why I got the interview. Because I sat there and I kind of went, you know what? Just meeting her, just having this experience was worth any money you could think of. And what did it matter? Well, I didn't need to go back home with a film. Who needed that? I got the gift. That's why I was called there. It wasn't to make a film, it was to be there to meet her, to exchange energy with her, and to be in the loving with her. And when I had let go, and then let go of letting go, that's when she said yes.
So, all we need is love. How do we define love?
Love
A mini splendor
arrives in an instant, enters everywhere, and remains forever. Love is.
It's our reason for being.
Absolutely.
Christina, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming.